Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Harmonic Habits. This is where we bring you happiness and success for you, your family, and your entire organization or work. We have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Elvira Hopper. Now, I met Elvira at a networking event years ago. She's a fabulous artist, but she's so multidimensional, so multi-talented, and she is just like bringing love and passion all over the place. So, Elvira, why don't you just introduce yourself?
Oh, thank you so much, Amy. You're amazing. I have honored you for many years now, and I'm thrilled that we've reconnected and we're doing this today. And I think the easiest way to introduce myself, Amy, is to talk about my global vision connected to the my why, and my mission has three levels to it that will help to achieve that global vision. So would that be okay?
It's perfect. And I was going
Okay.
to ask you later on, I'll just tell you one of the questions I was going to ask. It
Yeah.
would be like, before the end of your life, what is the biggest thing you want to accomplish?
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So I'll
And
just
I
ask
might be
that now.
answering that right now. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So my global vision, Amy, is something that I'm very passionate about because it saved my life. And now I want to share it with the world. So I lived out of alignment for many years. I was a people pleaser. I was an imposter. I wanted to be what my parents wanted me to be. So I decided to be what my parents wanted me to be so that they could feel comfortable, so that they could feel like we came to Canada to give me a better future. And I achieved their dream, right? It was all about them, right? So I wanted to be an artist when I was a little kid. I wanted to be on stage singing and dancing. I was told those women were sluts. So I wasn't allowed to be me. So I've been an entertainer my whole life, but I usually did it with shame and with, you shouldn't be doing this because this is not for nice girls, and that's what I did is I hid it. I would get expressed as an artist every once in a while, but there was always shame around it, right? So my last 2 years of corporate, I chose not one but two solid healthcare careers. First in lab technology, I worked at Princess Margaret in cancer research. I wanted to slit my wrist at the end of those 7 years because it was not who I was. I was not living my truth.
Mhm.
I was not living my higher self's purpose. So what happened was I got plucked out of that to do pharmaceutical sales, which was a little better because I wasn't stuck in a lab and I wasn't being bullied by my coworkers. Because this is what happens, Amy, when we live out of alignment, we can get bullied because it's the universe shaking us to wake us to our truth. And for me, I struggled with mental health issues, physical health issues. I had like eating disorders back when, my marriage used to be a shambles. And I lived, with depression, anxiety, and panic disorder, and at my lowest, suicidal ideation. So I had to go through all of that to get to who I am today because my second career was fine for most of it, although I felt like an imposter every single day of being a drug rep, telling doctors how to prescribe my product. I felt like, you don't know enough. You're an imposter. You shouldn't be here, right? That's how I lived for 20 years. My last 2 years were solid depression, anxiety, and panic disorder. Suicidal ideation at the lowest when I said, give me a way out of this hell. That's not drugs. That's not therapy. Those are other stories. No disrespect to anyone that takes drugs and therapy for their mental health. They weren't options for me. And at my lowest, I thought my one and only son, who's almost 28, doing really well today, I thought my one and only son back then was better off without me as his mother. That's how low I got. And I wanted a way out that was fast and natural because I was a drug rep. I knew what they did to our bodies.
Mhm.
My father also lived out of alignment. He was an unfully self-expressed artist who died with his real music still in him 10 years ago, or 11 years ago this May. And he died with cancer, mental health struggles, and a marriage in shambles. So this is the price that we pay. He got bullied at work as well because he lived out of alignment.
Mhm.
And so he went to a dark place. And so the sins of the father were visited onto the child. So when I got bullied at work, my last 2 years of corporate, it was my biggest blessing. Those two people that bullied me, not one, but two areas of my life. Who was the common denominator? Me. My vibration was so low that I was a crap magnet and I
Mhm.
brought on the crap that I experienced back then. And I was meant to go through it because, I didn't, like there's the expression, you didn't come this far to only come this far. I had to go through it in order to get to the other side of it, to now have a system that was divinely gifted to me. I didn't make it up. I'm not that smart. At my rock bottom, this system was gifted to me. And it's now the foundation of the Love Your Vibe transformation, which is this personal development solution for heart-centered humans. I've got people all over the world that want to use this system divinely gifted to me to help others. And it's become a movement. It's called the Miracle Magnet Movement. So it's all about helping people to live as their authentic self, their higher vibration, true divine being self, and letting go of that ego crap magnet that they thought they were, but they're not. Because when we truly connect to who we are, we know we're a divine being. We were created by a divine source. Nobody's here by accident. We're all here to serve in a way that only we can. And when we embody that truth, Amy, I know you do, I know I do. When we embody that truth, miracles find us, because we're living in alignment with our purpose, right? We are aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed.
Yeah.
And when we
definitely.
do that, right, our marriages are better, our mental health is better, our physical health is better. We don't get cancer because we're resentful, because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah, you're on a completely different vibration than any of the germs, right? And any of the cancers, and yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, even if people who have things pretty well on their vibe and they get something, it's usually because the universe is trying to steer them towards
in another direction. Yes.
Right?
Why did I get bullied? The universe was steering me out of that life, that inauthentic life. I was making 6 figures as a big pharma rep, driving the biggest car in the company, expense account. I was all that in a bag of chips. Meanwhile, I felt like a freaking imposter in my heart and soul.
So many people like that. So many people like that. That's actually one of the things I'm out to transform with corporate, right?
Yes.
Is like to bring in that flow as well as the structure, right? Because there's so much structure.
Yes.
But when
we need more flow.
Yeah, you need more flow, but also you need people in the right things for them, right? So often people are in the wrong jobs because they're going for either the money or either the status, or because they think it's a stepping stone for where they want to go.
Yeah.
But they're not necessarily even in alignment with who they are.
Yeah.
And so
have
you
you ever heard the expression?
Most amazing company. Yeah. And have people be in alignment.
Yes.
And like playing to their strengths. So that's what I want to transform, is I want to bring that into, I am. That's a mission I'm doing.
What a beautiful mission. And
Yeah,
they talk about, so sorry. We're so excited. We're talking over each other. We talk about having your ladder against the right wall, right? Like you're talking about going into corporations, making sure people have their ladder against the right wall. Otherwise they could be climbing up the wall, that ladder on a wall that doesn't even belong to them. And they're not sure why, like they're confused why when they get there, they're not even happy.
So not fulfilled.
Yeah. Your ladder was up against the wrong wall. So anyway, I just,
and your story reminded me of so many people. Right. And I'm going to speak specifically about one of my kids.
Yeah.
So one of my kids, I know she's an expressive and performing kind of person.
Yeah.
And I know that she still has the shame around certain aspects of it because of what people will say or how people will judge her, and what people have said in the past. But it's like, as her mom, and I watch her trying to shape her life around everybody else, and it's not in alignment. And so she's very frustrated.
I bet.
And as a parent, like, we've lived
Have her call me.
Exactly. We've lived our lessons, and you try to teach that to your kids so that they can have more alignment and stuff, right? But I think the best thing that we can do is for us to become in alignment with ourselves, because that's going to help them.
Amen.
Right? So how's your son now? You're 28.
Oh, my son's amazing. I mean, he's gone through his own story, and now he's working at Shopify. He's a manager there, making more money than God. Like, he's doing really, really well. But what happens is, how we show up energetically, vibrationally affects our children. And my child, he went through his stuff, probably because I had to go through my stuff, but he's doing really well. I've got to say that, knock on wood, he's doing really, really well. He's on his own path. Right. And I truly trust that the divine has him, even though he's very science and he doesn't even believe in God, so to speak, because he went to computer science at Waterloo, and he went to philosophy class, and it's like, Mom, prove to me there's a God, right? I'm like, okay,
That
right?
comes with time. That
I
comes
know.
with time and
But
experience, right?
exactly. And if
You
he
can't
absolutely
lead somebody
needs it at
blind.
rock bottom, yeah, if he absolutely needs it, he will know that if he at least comes to talk to his mama, he will know that he is supported by a divine source that created him. And at this time, at this point, he's a hipster. He's living downtown Toronto. He's doing well, and that whole faith thing is not really in his life. He's very, he's Mr. Science, Mr. Data at Shopify. But yeah, so just back to my vision for the world, Amy, is to see a world where all heart-centered people like you, like me, are living aligned with their higher self, their higher power, their higher purpose, authentic. They're not living with the ego mask, pretending everything's okay, like I did for many years, and I was a shit show on the inside, right? So living aligned, authentic, and the last one, fully self-expressed.
That's
It's what
amazing.
saved my life at rock bottom. My father did not get fully self-expressed. He died with his real music still in me. Now I was able to transform, and I became a professional jazz singer at the age of 51. I'm now working, oh my goodness, there we are. I'm working on world-class jazz stages with Juno award-winning artists. The guy behind me is Ross McIntyre. He's a Juno winner. And I recorded my first jazz album there. It's crazy. So this is what happens when we get into alignment with who we truly are. Miracles find us every day. That's why this is the miracle magnet movement. And it's there's so much grace and ease and flow when you're doing what you're meant to do. And this is what I want for the world, at least the heart-centered people of the world that have gone to dark places like me, like you. I want them to live aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed. So that's my vision. My mission has 3 layers to it on how we get to that vision. The bottom layer is what you see on the screen. The Love Your Vibe transformation is this personal development solution, SOUL, for heart-centered humans to help them do their inner work of healing and growth, to become who they truly are, to let go of all the old stories, the old patterns that don't serve them, so that they can stand in the glory of who they truly are. And we like to say healing and growth to greatness. So I have an incredible team who actually came together when COVID hit. The 2 women that came together, because they basically lost their work a lot, as a lot of people did when COVID hit. One's a hairdresser, one's a massage therapist. They said, Elvira, we don't know how long this thing's going to last, but we know that our future is about taking your online course to the world. So they created the 6-month program called the Love Your Vibe Transformation, and they are sharing this with the world, and they're training the trainers to share it with others. So big shout out to Eleanor Hayward and Jennifer Hawkins, because they came together and they knew that this was their future. And now they have this incredible team. Well, we have this incredible team that we're a part of that's helping humanity to do their inner work. So they don't have to be a crap magnet. They can learn to be a miracle magnet. That's the bottom layer. Amazing, right?
So yeah, and I know that you went through the pharmaceutical journey, and you really didn't like your life for a while. And then when you left corporate, what was it that had you start into business? Because now you're a pretty savvy business person, and that might have taken some time. But what was the specific incident where you're like, no, you know what, I'm going to start a business?
Yeah. Well, it was a breakdown. It was rock bottom. It was, I surrender all. Like Eckhart Tolle talks about being in that state where he couldn't live with himself anymore and he wanted to die. And he heard a voice in his head that said, basically, are you the voice that's telling you that you're no good and you want to die? Or are you the observer of that voice? And he separated from his ego. And that's what I did. I was able to separate from my ego and go, okay, you're not this person down here with depression, anxiety, and panic disorder and wanting to kill yourself. You're here for more. And I realized that at the beginning, when I started getting corporately bullied and I attracted another bully socially, I had seen a friend, like literally days before the bullying started, I had seen a friend leave the pharmaceutical industry to become a coach. And she was so happy and she was so grounded and so calm and so beautiful. Like she and I used to job share. So I knew her really, really well when we were drug reps together, and she looked totally different. And I'm like, I want what she's got. Right. And I said, I don't know what she did, but one day I'm doing it too. Well, guess what? The universe was listening. And literally the next week, my mentor, my boss got let go mysteriously. And I could have easily said, oh, I saw my friend leave. I'm going to leave too because Scott's gone and my life's never going to be the same. Instead, my ego kicked in and said, oh, maybe it's a sign you're meant to be the manager. And that is when a dear colleague, he used to be my work spouse, and we were hired at the same time. He decided to go for the job too. And he was an alpha male and he wanted the job at all costs. And there was a misunderstanding. We were both going for the job. We were going to keep it really clean. If he got the job, I'd be happy for him. If I got the job, he'd be happy for me. Instead, it got ugly because there was a misunderstanding. Instead of fixing it, he just went for the jugular, my jugular, and he ruined my reputation in the company. So nobody's talking to me anymore. So I'm being corporately bullied. And I used to need outer validation back then, like I needed oxygen. Yeah. So by people hating me and shaming me at work, and now I have this kick me sign on my back, this vibrational kick me sign on my back. I used to dance for the Argos 1 year back in the 80s. That was my one good year where I felt aligned, authentic.
Where this was?
Yes, exactly. This was actually a reunion, but back in the 80s, I used to dance with them. And it was my one decent year because I got to be an artist. I got to be a dancer that year. But within this group of former cheerleaders that you just showed, there was a mean girl that saw the kick me sign on my back. And guess what? She started kicking me too. So I don't have friends at work. I don't have friends socially because she took all my friends away and told them that I was a piece of crap and not to talk to me anymore. So imagine someone that needed outer validation like they need oxygen because they're such an imposter. Imagine what that did to my psyche.
Oh, I can imagine that. I see that in people all the time.
Yeah, it nearly killed me. And at rock bottom, when I didn't want to live anymore and I asked for a way out that was fast and natural, because I had gone through therapy for my mommy issues when I became a new mom. Therapy worked, Amy. Just took 2 years. I didn't want to wait 2 years.
Right? It's ridiculous how long
it does work. It just takes a long time. And plus my dad, he got bullied at work. He had a nervous breakdown because remember, he could sing like Pavarotti, never did anything with his voice. So he had a nervous breakdown in his 50s. He could never do that job again. He went on disability and on lorazepam, an anti-anxiety drug, for the rest of his life. When he died, Amy, his liver was massive. So he showed me that it's not going to be drugs. It's not going to be therapy. You need another way out of your hell. And I got it at rock bottom. It's called the Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset. It saved my life, saved my sanity, saved my marriage, helped me to go from an inauthentic crap magnet to an aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed miracle magnet. Exactly. Yeah. And I want this for the world. And so I'm doing that at this level. All these people want to use my system to help others, creating an extra income and also putting their own systems on my site as well. Because I don't believe it's just one person's story, message, and magic that matters. It's everybody's story, message, and magic that matters. That's how we help humanity to transform. So mine is a platform, personal development solutions for heart-centered humans who don't like the in-your-face approach of some systems that we've experienced, Amy, like Landmark Education and Tony Robbins and lots of other systems. I was religious for many years. It didn't save my life at rock bottom. I still wanted to die. So we needed, I'm talking about myself now. I needed something different. And other people like me, heart-centered humans who don't like the in-your-face, can use this system as well to do their inner work.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed is that there are so many different types of transformation. Yeah. And some of them are more gentle than others. And I mean, there's ones that are so effective, but it's like a grueling process to go through. And then there are ones that are like gently effective. Like that's one of the reasons I started Affirming Arts, right?
Yes.
It's because it's like, I'm telling people this is a technique that you can transform your mind and your life and everything else. But it's easy and gentle, right?
Yes.
And then also the music and the vibration and everything else that goes with it.
Yes.
I'm going to bring up your singing bowls because
absolutely.
Right now.
I'm actually in the studio right now creating my jazz album. Sorry, my singing, sacred sound. Yes. Sacred sound healing. Now those are just three bowls, but I now have 7.
Elvira, see if you
there I am. Okay. That's
Okay.
so funny. Now I have 7 sacred chakra bowls. So they're amazing. They're 432 hertz, which is the energy of Mother Earth. And I have this amazing world-class musician, Planet Wide Records, who's recording me, my friend Stefan Danko. He is like total music nerd who wants to use sound and sacred sound healing to help humanity heal.
Yeah,
And
it's
we're
it's
creating,
huge. It's so important because if we're all vibration,
yeah,
which we are, it's been scientifically
yeah,
proven.
yeah,
Having the different sounds can really resonate and open up. Like it can
exactly.
open up your mind, it can open up your chakras, it can make you
Yeah.
feel better, it can heal you.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually goes into
Mhm.
our cells. Science has
Yeah.
shown that sound goes into our cells and toxins are released from our cells.
Mhm.
And this is what Stefan and I are doing in the studio right now. We're creating a vinyl album. He's recording me on analog, which is actually better than digital in terms of sound quality. That's the old-fashioned way, right? The old albums. We're
Mhm.
creating a vinyl album on analog, and it is so exciting because this
It
guy
is.
is so
I'm
geeking out.
excited just like watching it from the side.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that is the layer one of my mission to get to that vision of an aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed world that saved my life, basically getting that way. The middle level is I have one-on-one coaching programs. And I have like, 3-figure, 4-figure, 5 figures, and 6-figure coaching programs, believe it or not. My highest level is called the Renaissance. You're going to love this title, the Renaissance Human Unleashed. The tagline is, why be one thing when you can be all things? If my
Mhm.
father had had that program, I don't think he would have died with his real music still in him.
Exactly. Exactly. And we are all things. Like one of
Yes.
the biggest thing that frustrates me is when people don't see, like it's like, oh well, what do you do? And it's like we naturally lump people into categories and define them as like, oh, that's that person, they do this. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, I know that we're all multi-dimensional beings,
Yes.
and there's not one person that I've ever met, even the most boring person I've ever met, that has just the one thing they do, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your renaissance, like I
Human
love that.
Unleashed. Yes.
I
Thank
love
you.
it, love it,
Thank you
love it,
for
love it.
seeing that, Amy. I knew you would. I knew you would. And you're absolutely right. And when we do all the things that are in us to do, we are happier. We are healthier. Our relationships are better. When I became a pro jazz artist at 51, and I've worked on world-class stages, including the Niagara Jazz Festival close to you. I've sung for Oprah Winfrey's man, Stedman Graham. Google his name and my name. You'll see me singing to him.
I did today.
Right?
I saw that.
It's crazy. The mayor of my city, Bonnie Crombie, God bless her, invited my second jazz duo, who's now an award-winning jazz duo, to perform at her 60th private birthday party. Like, that's a bit of a miracle because literally we just got together like a month before and she invited us to perform. But this is what I talk about. When we get into alignment with our true purpose, people pick up that vibration and they want to enroll us in whatever it is that they're doing, right? Bonnie Crombie, she had this very important 60th private birthday party, right? She could have asked anybody in my city as a musician to perform. She invited us.
That's nice.
Why do you think?
Well, because you guys are vibing on the same level and you're bringing it. You're going to uplift and elevate all the people there.
Yeah, because we're doing it aligned. We're not doing it from ego. It's
Yeah.
not about us being on stage looking good. It's about us doing our bigger purpose.
Yeah.
I
Like, look how
wanted.
happy you are here. I just have to bring it up because it's like, you can tell that
Oh,
you're right into it.
I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Oh my God, that was such a fun gig. I remember it. But you know what? This is what happens, Amy, when we do our thing fiercely yet humbly, because it's not about us. It's about why we were brought here. I wouldn't have had that instinct as an 11-year-old girl seeing those women on stage at this jazz show I got to go to, which kids weren't allowed to. And it was destiny that I be there because I got to see these goddesses on stage singing and dancing. And I was like, I'm one of them. And afterwards, my dad introduced me because he worked in the restaurant downstairs and this was the cabaret show upstairs. And he connected, like he brought me backstage and they look at me and they said, Joe, this is your daughter. She's so beautiful. And I'm thinking, I'm beautiful. I was this fat little Italian kid because we came from Italy to Canada when I was 5 and I was skinny. But because my parents weren't very happy about immigrating, there was lots of problems. I got I was an emotional, sensitive, artistic child. I ate my emotions. So I arrived skinny at 5, and now at 11, I was this rotund little kid, but I was an artist inside. And they saw me. They said, Joe, she's so beautiful. And I'm thinking, I'm beautiful. I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful for telling me that I'm beautiful. And honestly, Amy, I felt seen for the first time in my life.
So
I
good.
felt like these women were me just a few years ahead.
Yeah.
And they saw me too. So I walk away with my daddy and I said, Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grew up. I knew that that was in me. So I had to do something with it. And you know what my dad said? Right?
Yeah.
And what did my dad say? Because he was told good men are not on stages singing. Good men are good husbands and fathers and providers. His sister was an opera singer on world-class opera stages. But when she got married, Amy, she had to hang up her apron, she had to hang up her opera gown, put on an apron. And she was told, you can never step foot on another opera stage because now you're married and you're going to be a mother.
Oh, painful.
Right? Imagine both of them, world-class musicians, could not do it. Well, guess what? This lady here broke the mold. And generational trauma. I'm going back 7 generations now that I've healed because I was able to get aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. I know my daddy. So when I walked away, I said to my dad, Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up. And did I mention this already? What did he say to me, Amy?
You didn't tell me that part.
Okay. So what did he say to me when I walked away and I had stars in my eyes?
I think you told me before, but
okay. I'll tell you now for your listeners, your viewers. Okay. What did he say to me? He said, Elvira, you can't be one of those women because those women are sluts. And that was it.
Dream crush.
Right? I wasn't allowed to be me, but that dream never died in me. I used to do it. I used to sing karaoke, but always from a place of shame. I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be doing this, right? There was all this shame around my art. But then, you know, it's like if it's in you for a reason, and it never goes away.
It never stops. Exactly. It's always there. It's
always there. So it's never too late to live the life of your dreams, not your parents' dreams, not society's dreams, but your dreams.
My parents died before they really had a chance to live their dreams. And that's one of the reasons I made it my mission to help people to be fulfilled.
Thank you.
Yeah,
this is why we're meant to meet.
To watch, right?
Yeah,
it's so sad to watch, and then like to know that they sacrificed themselves.
Yeah,
for you.
Yeah,
and then you want to like be better for the next generation, so that they don't come out and be like,
"Yeah,
what did my mom or dad do? Like, why were they here?" You know?
Yeah.
I have a bunch of questions.
Okay. Go ahead.
So if you're okay, if I just rapid fire.
Yes. And I didn't talk about the top layer of my mission.
That's the last part. We will get to that. I promise.
Okay.
I promise you.
Awesome.
We'll leave a little suspense for the people.
Okay. Got it.
Awesome. So I just want to know, do you have any mentors or coaches right now, or people who
I do. I have an amazing coach, AG Marishta. Shout out to him. He's in LA. He is the movement maker coach. He actually named the movement that came through me the Miracle Magnet Movement. So he's an amazing coach. I don't know who I'd be without him in my life.
So good. I notice a theme. A lot of people, 51 actually is a very powerful number when people really take back their life. And also the people that like just skyrocket into their success, they have mentors and coaches. So
exactly. We don't do it alone. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And then how do you attract people into your like clients or team members? How do you attract people into that?
Oh, it's your beingness. It's who you are. People are attracted to your vibration or not. And I'm good either way. If you're meant to be in my life, you will be, and you're meant to be served by what I'm doing, what we can do together, how you can be served to your next level. I like to say I help people go from their successful looking act 1 into their aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed act 2. And I tend to work with a lot of midlife people that they know they're here for more, and they might die with their real music still in them. And to me, that's,
Exactly. And the vibing thing, it's like, I always think about people being waves, right? Because we're at whatever point we're at a specific time.
Yeah.
And so people might not resonate with you right now because you're on a really high vibe, but they might finally get that spark and resonate with you then.
Yes.
So whoever, have you ever, I'll give an example, read a book and then you read it 10 months later and it's a completely different book?
Totally different book, because you're a different person.
You're a different person. So it's the same with coaches and people in your business as well. People are different at different times, and sometimes they meet up
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't.
So much
Okay.
wisdom, Amy. Yes. Thank you.
Well, I get wisdom. I collect it from talking to people and
Yeah.
experience.
And you channel too. You channel
Oh
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a channeler as well. That's
Yeah.
true.
ABC, always be channeling. Yes.
If there's 3 people that you would like to connect with that you haven't connected with yet, who are those 3 people?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm just going to put it out there. So the top layer of my mission
Oh,
is a
perfect.
very big project, and we are looking for our first 3 investors to go into it. And those 3 people, Oprah Winfrey, Sir Richard Branson, and Tony Robbins, they're the first 3 investors in this project.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
it's good. It's like having that vision and
Yeah.
putting it out there is very great. Thank
Yes.
you. And that
Yes.
clarity.
Oh, so much clarity.
Yeah, the clarity is key. When you have clarity, it's just
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
Yeah. So and then so what is the biggest mistake that you've made since starting your business that held you back?
Not hiring a business coach sooner.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need help. We can't do this alone. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask you about that. It's like so what's the size of your team? How do you
Yeah.
work with teams?
Yeah. Well, so my team right now, oh my God, we're growing so quickly. I can't even keep up with the number now. But there's a lot of virtually every person that goes through the 6-month program, the Love Your Vibe transformation, wants to be a facilitator of it. So it's growing quickly. And I have 2 leaders that like made this thing kind of happen. They believe they manifested COVID so they could come together to co-create this amazing thing. And so this team is growing right now. I'm going to say we're at about 14, but soon it's going to be 20, and then it's going to grow exponentially from there. I was shown that we go to 1,000 mentors globally, but I also,
how else are you going to impact what did you
That's
say before?
That's it. Well, when it saved my life, Amy, I was told in no uncertain terms, Elvira, this system isn't just for you. This is for you to share with the world. And I'm like, how the hell do I do that? Well, when COVID hit and those people came together, I started crying and I said, that's how it gets shared with the world, not through me, through them.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
And you know what? Anybody who's a light worker or anybody who is wanting to help a larger group of people, that's how it works.
Yes.
It's like we can get the downloads. We have to test things ourselves first.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that everything works. And then it is meant to be gifted to other people and have the other people bring it out further.
Exactly. And that's how movements happen. And it belongs to them, really. Like I get to witness them in their glory, doing what they were brought here to do. And they're just using my system as a platform. And in terms of teams, we've got to live a life that's aligned with who we truly are. In other words, if it ain't, I tell my teams and my clients and my audiences this, if it ain't in your JPG zone, it ain't your job. What does that stand for? Joy, passion, and genius. If it's not for you to do, we entrepreneurs can't do everything. We need to farm it out to someone who can do it. I actually manifested retiring my husband from corporate so that he could be my COO and my CFO, or as I like to call it, my COFO, Chief Operating and Financial Officer. And I always say being my COFO is better than being a mofo.
That's awesome. And that's the exact goal I'm working on right now. So
amazing.
Ooh,
amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations on that. That's huge. That's huge. And I mean, like my dream is like that whole power couple and like my partner has all the skills. And I'm like, so now it's actually bringing it together, right? I think that's amazing.
He's the brains. He's the brains of my business.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome. So the level 3, I know you mentioned bringing on the investors, but let's look at that. What is the top level of your mission?
So the top level of the mission that was shown to me is that we have a duty, my husband and I, we actually were brought together. We were meant to stay together when 3 different times our marriage nearly split. My ego nearly killed our marriage when I lived out of alignment as a crap magnet. And we were meant to stay together. Why? My husband, before I retired him from corporate, what does he do for a living, Amy? He builds and runs hotels. Hospitality is his background. We were meant to stay together because 10 years ago this April, I was shown this vision on the morning of a dear friend's funeral that he and I are to co-create a series of 11 global retreat centers to serve the top 1% of humanity, to help them do their inner work of healing and growing. And when they're operating as their authentic self, not their ego self that we're used to seeing them in the media, as their authentic, aligned, fully self-expressed self, we get to lock arms with them and we get to serve the rest of humanity.
Exactly. Because that top 1%, they're the ones that are really making the difference. And so
Exactly.
if they're out of alignment,
Yeah,
it's causing people all over the world to be crap magnets, right?
exactly.
So having those
Exactly.
people be in alignment really does, it filters down.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Exact mission is me.
Yeah. And we are that close to getting our top level investors because we have an incredible team. I've connected with over 44 rock stars from around the world that want to serve at these centers. They have 6-figure coaching programs, just like my Renaissance Human Unleashed, and they want to serve the 1%. And so we are that close to getting our investors into the project so that we can start building.
It's perfect. And for the audience, I want you guys to notice something about how Elvira speaks. She's speaking about how it's happening and how it's unfolding, and not just like we want this to happen. She's like, we're this close to it all coming together. And this is what's going to happen. And these are the people that I'd like to meet. And I'm throwing it out there. And it's like, you are putting faith before the manifestation of everything. Right.
Yes,
and that's key, very key. So I just wanted to point that out because, for people who want to create a better life for if you want to create a better life for yourself, that's one of the things you do.
Yeah.
And alignment, right?
Yes.
Do you know how excited I was about doing interviews today? Oh my gosh, I'm getting back.
You're so good at it, Amy.
Yeah. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh, me too.
Vera, how would people what's your favorite way or the best way for people to connect with you?
You know what? I'm thinking these days, everything is on my Linktree. So elvirahopper.com/Linktree is probably the easiest way. It's on my Instagram. So I'm at EV Hopper, and I'm also at the Love Your Vibe Transformation. Both of those accounts on Instagram have that link tree. So just click on the link tree. See, I have a couple of YouTube shows. I have a podcast. I have a free giveaway. I have a 15-minute chat with me. If you're serious about going deeper and you feel like I might be your person, we could have a free conversation about that. There's also other pieces that are, thank you for putting that up there. There's also other goodies in there that can support you and your journey if you're a heart-centered human that knows they're here for more. If you are sure of that, you could even use my system to create an extra stream of income because I do not want to see light workers working day jobs. If you believe that this is something for you as well, let's have a chat. So I think that's probably the easiest way to connect with me is through my link tree.
Perfect. I love it. And this is our last question. Okay. So is there any question that I didn't ask that you wanted me to ask?
You know what? You were pretty thorough, Amy. I really honor you. You're in the flow when you're doing this. You're connected to your bigger purpose. It's so beautiful to feel the energy of someone connected to their purpose. And I'm just in total flow with you right now. And no, I think you've asked pretty much everything. I didn't mention one thing. And it was a miracle that found me over COVID, but I always put it out there years ago. I'm going to be an international speaker. And during COVID, within the last year, actually, the oldest speakers bureau on the planet said, we want you on our roster. And I was like, whoa, I wasn't. Yeah, thank you. But it's like, I wasn't looking for that opportunity. It found me. And this is what I talk about. Be a miracle magnet. Connect to who you truly are. Do the inner work of healing the trauma. Nobody gets out of childhood without trauma. Do the inner work of healing the trauma so that you can keep up leveling to be who you're truly meant to be. So you can make the difference you were born to make. And when that happens, miracles will find you every day. I guarantee it.
They will. I mean, I wasn't looking for top 40 under 40 and it just there
you go.
Yeah. So that happened.
Congrats.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you. All right. So it has been a pleasure to have you here, Elvira. I'm going to be sharing this show with a lot of people and cutting out the best snippets for people as well. So when that's done, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
I don't know if you noticed, but I wore your signature
my colors.
colors.
And I'm not because I have my Valentine balloons behind me. So I wore red.
You look fantastic. And you know what? It matches your personality. Very passionate.
Thank you.
So thanks so much. And thank you to all the viewers for watching this. Oh, I said one
Yes.
last question, and here's
Yes.
one question I didn't ask.
Oh, what's that?
What is your ABC for living a great life? What is one word?
Oh my God. Well, you just said it. Always be channeling ABC.
Always be
No,
channeling.
no, but my word is alignment. Do what
Alignment.
you need to do to live in alignment with your heart and soul. That's the name of my first jazz band. Do what you need to do. Do the inner work so you get into alignment with who you truly are, and you can be a shiny star as you were born to be.
Exactly. Amazing. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.